Right, I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but I thought I might show you how you could draw a guinea pig from life. This guinea pig here, that's Popcorn, and that's Waffle, and then the one, oh gosh, I can't see where I'm pointing, and that one's Waffle. Waffle is sound asleep. I've been doing some drawing of them. I'll show you what I've been drawing. They've been very, very good. They were quite sleepy, but I've done more than this, but that was the last one I did. So I thought you might like to have a go yourself and see how you get on. I'm using my Tombow pen again, but you could use a nice pencil or a coloured pencil, anything at all. Doesn't matter what you use, okay? So when I am drawing Waffle is my favourite one to draw because she's got lovely tufty bits. I like to start there at the top. That's her top tufty bit. And then a little wiggly ear. Oh, look at her falling asleep. And then I kind of come down and give her her little nose. See her little nose? And it has a little line down there. Move my water before I tip it over. Now she's resting down. Now I use her markings to help me map out her face. And when you're drawing things, anything at all, it can be a building, a car, or an animal, the best thing to do is to look for the shapes in the animals or the whatever, in your subject, it's called a subject. And you find like triangles. There's a little triangle at the beginning of the ear, and then a lovely wavy bit. And then there's a dark bit inside. And if you come in from the ear, down, her eye is there, and she's sort of closing it. Oh, look at the piggy. She's so sweet. So her eye's a bit like that. And then got nice tufty shapes coming up like this. And even though she's moving, she's not actually moved that much. But as I said before, don't panic if things change. What you need to do when you're drawing animals or anything that moves, you kind of need to when you're drawing from life, you're not trying to get an exact replica of them. What you want is an impression of them, and that means you want the character most of all, and you want, of course you want them to look like the animal, but you don't get sort of really hung up on things looking really neat, because that's not really how it works with drawing animals from life. So I've kind of got her swirly bits coming there. Now she should be a bit bigger than that, but that's okay. This bit comes up a bit, doesn't it? And it comes down round her bottom. And then her little foot is tucked in here. Oh, she's having a proper stretch out and a snooze, isn't she? Oh, Popcorn, you are lovely, aren't you? Sorry, I do speak a lot to my guinea pigs. So I'm going to get some nice yellow, yellow ochre, and I'm just going to plop it on quite roughly, because the detail with the colour is going to come next. So I can be quite quick and rough, and when you're drawing and painting from life, you want to be quite quick. Don't get too precious, or don't get precious at all, not even too precious, don't get precious, full stop. Just because what we're trying to do is get information down. And when we work like this is all the things that help us to create our illustrations by drawing. I'm going to give her a little pinky nose. By doing this kind of drawing, it teaches me about the way they move and obviously the way they look, but it gives me little ideas as well. I get ideas about drawing sleepy guinea pigs in a book, or and it's a very good thing. So maybe you've got a cat or a dog, maybe you've got a guinea pig at home or a rabbit. Or if you don't have a pet, you just need to look outside and you'll see birds and things. Or you can try drawing someone in the family, because it's all the same. You just need to use your eyes to look, spend lots of time looking at what you're drawing, and don't worry about the details and don't worry about getting things wrong. You just got to try, okay? Yeah, I'm going to get some of this nice blue, and when I first put it on, it looks, this Payne's grey, it looks very dark, but as it dries it goes less dark. Oh, hello Waffle. And that helps give me some feeling of tone. And if you're wondering about where to put your light and dark areas, if you look at something and if you close one eye, or if you half close your eyes, like you squint at it, you'll suddenly see that you can see things in their kind of light and dark tones, where it's dark and shadow and where it's lighter and shadow. And if I squint and look at Popcorn, I can see that she's actually really dark down here, where she's touching the blanket, so we can make that nice and dark, and then we can bring some of that like that. And then she's got lots of dark in her ear there, so we can make that even darker. And when you squint and look at something, you quickly realise that things are a lot darker than you think they are. So make your dark areas dark and your light areas light, and don't be afraid to make a nice contrast. See that now, because my paper is quite wet, I need it to dry a little bit so that it kind of sticks a wee bit more. But you see the difference that putting in some shadow makes. So it just suddenly becomes much more full of character and more alive, I think. I'm going to put some shadow around her nose and just some little marks to indicate her hair. Little marks around here. Oh, she's heard someone coming downstairs. So, I don't know, can you see that? Okay, so now I've done that really quickly, but remember, I've had lots of practice of doing that, but my main thing was that I didn't get too hung up. I didn't get bothered about whether I was doing things right or wrong. I just kept looking at Popcorn and looking for the shapes. Now, she's got that nice apple. Should we draw the apple? Because that could then start to tell a story. And I'm looking at the shapes in the apple. And even though that apple is still, I almost find it harder to draw than Popcorn. It's got its bit of its stalk coming there. Now what's quite nice is that if we put this down, this apple, next to her, it starts to tell a story, and maybe a bit of a story about why she's so tired. And she's tired because she spent so much energy eating. That sounds about right, Popcorn, doesn't it? You've done lots of eating today. So I'm going to get kind of a yellowy. Just put that down. It's sort of similar colour to Popcorn. And I'm actually just going to spread that all over. And then I'm going to get, do you remember we did our wet? We put wet on wet. So I'll get a bit of this kind of pink and I'm going to put it on. Oh look, that looks fun, doesn't it? And that's just going to bleed with the on the wet paint. And look, really nice. Oh, they're going to have a, they're going to squabble sometimes. So Waffle and Popcorn are sisters, and sometimes they do squabble, just like sisters do, or brothers and sisters do, siblings. These two do squabble. So that looks quite nice, doesn't it? That look like a tasty apple. See, she's exhausted, but she's not too tired that she can't eat a bit more. So do you see I'm putting down that dark tone again? It's helping give my apple shape. I need to put some in there to make it. Yeah? You've woken up, Waffle. I was very exhausted. I was so exhausted from having a sleep. I need to have something else to eat now. Right, so I'm going to let that apple be for a little bit. I'll put a little bit, just a tiny bit of tone down in this. Yeah. Should we try and draw one of them while she's moving? Should we do a bit of Waffle? What do you think, Waffs? Are you going to be a good model? She says, I don't know, I might be very busy eating. What do you think, Waffy? You're such a good piggy, aren't you? Oh, I didn't want to be stroked there. Right, how should we do her? Let's see how she settles down. And I can draw on top of this. Popcorn, you can't go walkabouts. Popcorn. Thank you. Popcorn's going off. Popcorn quite likes going off and chewing my paintbrushes. Right, let's have a look. Right. Let's do Popcorn. Right, Coco, if you just could let them be, then I can draw them. Maybe I'm going to draw. I might have to draw. Oh no, maybe Waffle's going to go to sleep, so I can draw her. I just want you to be able to see her as well. Let's try and do her because she's different. So, let's try and get her to move a little bit so you can see her. Good girl. That's it. Good girl. Oh, fidget pants. Somebody's woken up on the wrong side of the bed. Can you hear them making their noises? Right, I'm going to, because I can't get Waffles to go in the position that I really want, I might draw, oh no, here we go. Right, I love it when they do their grooming. They're fighting now. Okay, no, I will do Waffle because we've not done her. So let's just do her quickly, shall we? So she's got this, oh, we could draw her grooming. Settle down, girl. Even though she's got like a smooth coat, we can still use the hair to make marks that come down. And we can use these lovely marks. She's got these great shapes, hasn't she? And the little foot comes down here. And I'm going very quickly because I think she's, yeah, there she goes. I was going to say, I think she's going to not stay still. So let's get, I like that shape when she had her little hand there and it kind of made a bit of a shape like that, and I like that. Now even, there she goes again. See now, the good thing with animals is often they'll go into a shape and then they move and you think, oh no, but then often they will go back into that position. But when you draw animals, and it's the same when you draw people, something that's you kind of have to learn to do. It's a bit like doing an exercise and you kind of have to train yourself to do it, is that you have to learn to take a photograph with your inside your head of what position they were in and try to remember it. So I'm having to do a little bit of that there, and I've made that ear a bit wonky. That's okay. Popcorn Waffle, you're not being very helpful for me. You sit up, good girl. I'm going to get cross about that. So she's got that nice marking around her face, and then her eyes about here. And sometimes I do realistic eyes. This time I want to do these guinea pigs a bit more like my illustrations. That's how I feel like doing. So I'm gonna see like little hands coming forward. They have 4 fingers on four fingers on their front paws, and they have 3 kind of long ones on their back paws. I think I talked about that in the last one. So she looks a little bit dumpy, but I think that's okay. I think it's okay given that we were doing a very quick sketch. Don't you? I'm very tempted to try it there. She's kind of gone back into that position, and I could see that bit was all nice and round, you see? Sort of nice and big cheeks. I like it when they make that shape. I wonder whether she'll do it again so I could draw it quickly. Will you do it again, Popcorn Waffle? What do you think? Is she settling down? When you're drawing animals, you've got to just be very adaptable to whatever they want to do, because they will do whatever they want to do. They won't do what you want them to do. So you just have to get on with it and make the best. Make the best. And be very quick. So if she goes back into that position that I liked, I would be very quick to try and draw it. I think I did too much faffing. I did too much faffination. Her ears are brown. And actually this comes all the way. So those little marks of the hair that I put in, that helps me to remember where her markings come. So that's so I know that it comes all the way to her little forearm there. And then I can put on this colour nicely. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This, you know, if you held a photograph of Waffle up, it, you know, her markings would be a bit different, but I've got an impression of her when she was kind of fidgeting around. And I think maybe there might have been a foot up here, like that, or something happening. As my memory serves me. And then I'm going to get a little bit of brown and put it in. And you could do this, you could go out in the garden and do this with flowers. Doesn't have to be an animal. And I just look for the shapes. That's my main kind of tip for you. Look for the shapes and just relax and enjoy doing it. Don't worry if you kind of end up making a bit of a wonky guinea pig like I've done here, because it's all good practice and it should just be good fun. It should be good fun. I hope it's good fun for you. I find it good fun. Just as well, really, because it's my job. They're making all sorts of noises at each other. I don't know whether you can hear it. So I'm going to get some of that tone, that darker tone, just put it down like that. Just make it, it just looks a bit like her coat. And on this page it almost looks like she's going to make a move on that apple, doesn't it? Oh, she's having a big yawn and a stretch now. You are a funny piggy. Right. Well, I think I better put these guinea pigs to bed. What do you think? Well, actually, just before I do, see my apple has dried, which means I can go and get a little bit of this tone, this darker tone, and pop it in. Now that it's dry, I can kind of go back into it and pot that down. And I can get a bit more red and bring in a bit more red to this, and it'll go on top. So it's sort of building up the colour. So don't be afraid to go back into something once it's dry. Sometimes you need it to dry. Sometimes you need it to dry to then be able to work on top. And as that dries, those darker tones will still come through, which will be really nice. What do you think, guinea pigs? You've been very good. I'm still tempted to, right, I'm going to do a really quick one now. I just saw her itching. Is she going to do it the other way? Please go the other way, Waffle. Are you going to do it? She's not going to do it now. Okay, so I'm going to just change the way my drawing is. And I'm going to try and get an impression of her itching. Oh dear. When she itches, her eye is shut. I can see that, so I'm noting that down. And I'm trying to kind of take mental notes of how her nose is. And that comes round, and then she's kind of, this tufty bit comes out, and she's got a little, oh sweet. Oh, Popcorn, you're too adorable. So I think her body came round like that, and her foot, I think she was scratching with her foot up, I think, and the other little foot was there. And she's scratching. And that is a very, very rough, quick impression of scratchy guinea pig. And you see it's not perfect, and I'm not bothered about it being perfect. It's given me
they're both doing it.
The information that I need to do the picture. And then I can just quickly put my colour, yes. I'm going to put the colour in quickly, and I know from my other pictures that the colour comes round. Actually, I've made forgot that she's got this white bit. So I've got my tissue, my trusty tissue out. Okay. And that's kind of all you need. I'll just go in with a bit of darker her ears in. And that's a really nice, quick, sketchy. Sometimes the really quick ones become my favourites. The really quick ones that don't really have much information. Well, they almost have the most information with the least amounts of marks, don't they? Adding a bit more dark to this one now. Ooh. I think this is my favourite one. I think she could have a bit darker in her ear. Just like that. It's funny how much darker, how much paler things are when they're dry. Particularly with watercolour, which is what I'm using. Right, give her a pink nose and then I must put them to bed, and you're probably really bored of watching this now. I'm hoping you could have been drawing along with me. We could have been doing it together. You can go back through and we can do it together, or you can do some drawings. You can always pause the video and do some drawings of the guinea pigs. And I'd love to see what you do. Remember, you can do it with pen or pencil. You don't have to do things exactly as I do them. You can do it pen or pencil. You could do it in just black and white. It doesn't have to have colour. And you can just do one picture. You don't have to do lots like I've done. Don't get frustrated, remember, and just keep going with it, yeah? Just keep drawing, just keep drawing. Right, I'm going to stop fiddling now. Have fun, guys. And I shall see you soon.